everybody, so new review for you guys today. We're talking about the latest installment in the Saw franchise, Spiral from the Book of Saw. As a huge fan of horror and the Saw franchise in general, this is something I've really highly anticipated for the longest time. There's been a lot of different delays for this film, and I'm so glad that it's finally coming to theaters this weekend so we can finally talk about it. Especially with this seemingly taking the franchise in a fresh new direction while also giving us some veterans to the franchise with the writers coming back from Jigsaw, and of course Darren Lynn Bousman is the director who gave us Saw 2, 3, and 4. Spiral from the Book of Saw follows Detective Banks and his partner as they take charge of a grisly murder investigation that's eerily similar to things in the city's gruesome past as he unknowingly becomes entangled in the center of the killer's morbid game. Also, I just want to make clear that this is a spoiler-free review because I know that some people are cautious when it comes to spoilers, so you don't got to worry about those here. But if this film is any indicator where we're going to take the Saw franchise in the future, I think that the future is actually going to be quite bright because I thought that Spiral from the Book of Saw is phenomenal. For me, I felt it really rejuvenated everything that made the first few Saw films so entertaining as we lean a bit more into the psychological territory here as this whole whodunit mystery unfolds. All of that was very well done. It was very engaging. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, especially with the way that the film builds all of its tension and suspense. It's very intense for large portions of the film as we follow these characters on their mystery. If I had to make comparisons, it felt very similar to the feel and vibe we got from the first couple Saw films like I mentioned previously, and also with a little bit of maybe some David Fincher as well. In particular, his film 7. There's a couple moments throughout the film that reminded me a lot of that film, like they were paying homage to it. Now, of course, it's a Saw film, and one of the main things that's a big draw for the Saw films are the traps. There are a lot of them in the film, and they're all particularly very gnarly traps. You've seen a couple of them in the trailers. They're still pretty brutal. They brought their A-game here when it comes to crafting these creative, very violent, very gory traps. Some of them may be actually some of my favorites I've seen in the franchise to this point, so I just want to leave it at that. I just want you guys to know that they definitely didn't skip on the traps, the blood, and gore. It's still pretty intense in Spiral from the Book of Saw, but I will be curious when you guys do check out the film, what is your favorite trap out of them all, because I think everybody's going to have a different one. I don't want to give mine away just yet because it's spoilery. Ever since this entire project was announced, it always felt so surreal that Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson are going to star in this. Chris Rock also is an executive producer on the project. Both of them were excellent, as I kind of expected. They did a really great job bringing their characters to screen, giving us this really fun dynamic between them as we're investigating this copycat Jigsaw, which is one of my main gripes, I guess you could say. It's kind of more of like a nitpick thing, just as a Jigsaw fan. I really don't like the new voice they have for this copycat Jigsaw. You hear a little bit in the trailers. It's just, you know, it takes me out of it. I get why it's not the same voice, but it's just one of those things that I guess I have to adjust with as the franchise goes forward. It didn't catch me off guard or anything because I knew what the voice was going to sound like going into the film, but something that did actually catch me off guard a little bit is how good the humor is in the film. I kind of did, I guess, assume there was going to be some really good humor in it because you have such great comedic actors like Samuel L. Jackson and Chris Rock, but they really have some solid humor in this film that I really love, some of which will most definitely be quotable, especially from Chris Rock, but of course you have Samuel L. Jackson cursing at people, which is always going to be one of the best things in anything that he's in. For me, I think this was the right way to craft a new Saw film. It does a really great job showing respect to the franchise and the longtime fans that are big fans of it, while also giving us a new, fun, modern take on the Saw franchise as well. And pushing that stuff forward, I think, is one of the best things when it comes to making new entries in the franchise, because a lot of those later Saw films, they did kind of start to feel stale and formulaic after a while, and at least it seems like they're breathing new life into it with Spiral from the Book of Saw, as it still has some really great twists and turns, a very engaging story with really fun, gnarly traps that you come to love from the franchise. I had a lot of fun with the film, so I hope you guys end up checking it out when it hits theaters this weekend. I highly recommend checking it out if you're a fan of the Saw franchise, or you just want to go see a horror movie this weekend. It's also great in that regard as well. Now that you've heard my thoughts on Spiral from the Book of Saw, I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Are you looking forward to Spiral from the Book of Saw? Are you not looking forward to it? And once you do check out the film this weekend, did you like it? Did you not like it? I'd love to know your thoughts down below, because part of the fun of it all is having that discussion with you guys, so make sure to leave a comment so we can talk about it in that discussion. I love to talk all things movies and TV with you guys on the channel. Thank you as always for checking my reviews though. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you like, hit the subscribe button. We'll keep doing movie reactions, unboxings, and more. The next time, I'll see you guys later.